Far Cry 6 is a whole lot of Far Cry, with a ton of gameplay mechanics from the series combined with the usual hilarious mayhem you'd expect. There are so many systems at play here, like light base building, the RPG-ish mechanics of guns, gear with stats, crafting. It can get a bit overwhelming at first, but we've got your back. In this video, we're going to tell you the most important things to focus on first, because you can choose to dig into or even ignore many of these things later on. If you love Far Cry like we do, with all of its insanity and plenty of flaws, hit that subscribe button and give us the old thumbs up. Let's get to it. Let's start with the things that go bang in the night, and also the day, and pretty much all other times in Far Cry. Far Cry 6 treats weapons in an RPG-ish fashion. They have a ton of variables, special abilities, mod slots, and it's pretty critical you know what to do with them at first, because they're very hit and miss. Pun intended. You can pick up an amazing looking sniper rifle and discover it's really just good at alerting enemies and mildly irritating them. Then the next minute you can pick up a bland looking gun and build an unstoppable killing machine that punches way above your level. And to just put that in context, enemy and zone levels do really matter in this game, at least at first. So here's how you get around that. There are two main types of weapons you'll run across in the game, regular and unique, and there are pros and cons to each. Your first instinct will be to run off and collect all the unique guns, the ones that come in these nifty Gator cases. Some of these weapons are extremely powerful, but they are what they are. You're stuck with the mods that come with them, and some just do not perform. Then there are the regular weapons that you pick up through the game, and they can be customized and modded at will. Many of these start off weak, but with a few tweaks can become incredibly powerful. At the start of the game, focus on building a suppressed sniper rifle with armor-piercing rounds. A good sniper rifle will carry you through huge portions of this world. Some enemies will be absolute bullet sponges to rifles and LMGs, but one well-placed armor-piercing round will zip right through their helmet and end the fight before it begins. There are a number of ammo types. In the early game, armor-piercing rounds feel like it just trumps them all. After that, focus your energy on weapons that knock down enemies or apply status effects like burning. That means enemies won't fight back while being on the ground or, running around on fire. Plus, it's just so satisfying. On the first island, the Humidor shotgun is fantastic and can be found right here. Finally, don't stress too much about the level of a weapon. It seems to matter a lot less than the mods you put on it. Alright, so let's talk about Supremos and Resolver Weapons. But I'm the ultimate badass with ultimate weapons, you say. Not necessarily. The Supremos and Resolver weapons that you have access to early on aren't automatically better than weapons you find on the ground. With Supremos, the super backpacks in the game, we suggest you stick with the Exterminador for quite a while. The main reason is that as the game advances, you'll start to run into helicopters, and boy are they hard to take down without this backpack. As of right now, we haven't been able to snipe chopper pilots, and the helicopters themselves can soak up huge amounts of damage, like multiple RPG hits and dynamite. The Exterminador backpack is the one thing that can reliably take care of them. A lot of the other ones you get later are nifty, but it's hard to beat a good screen clear.
I should keep looking.
Seriously though, helicopters are a problem. Even later level Resolver weapons like the Pyrotechno, without its heat-seeking mod, has a hard time taking down helicopters. But in a pinch, when all else fails, go find a mounted weapon. And speaking of, Resolver weapons are unique homebrew arms, and they're a lot of fun, but also don't necessarily open up gameplay or tactics you couldn't get from a good weapon build. La Clavadora, which fires a huge spike for example, is very satisfying, but it has a slow reload and low ammo capacity that makes it less effective than a good sniper rifle, or even this massively powerful computer shotgun. Now can you upgrade them to make them more fun? Yeah, this game is Far Cry as hell. So when it comes to stealth, slow is fast. For a big portion of Far Cry 6, stealth is the way to go, because I'll keep saying this, enemy levels matter. I tried to YOLO the original preview event and had a miserable time getting killed by higher level enemies. I'm not even someone who usually likes stealth, but taking down enemy bases, checkpoints, or even doing main missions using sneaky tactics will make your life a lot easier and more enjoyable. The game presents you with a bunch of enemy types and different ammo to combat each type, but honestly just sneaking up and putting a knife in someone's back is the most effective way to go. As usual, focus on alarms and enemies that can call in reinforcements first. Now while you're taking down bases, you will have Amigos with you. That's your pets in this game. And they become more powerful with training. Your first amigo, Guapo, has some abilities you should know about, and with some training can become even tankier. Stick with Guapo for a while and really invest in this reptile. As a matter of fact, you will spend huge portions of this game sticking with individual pets. Guapo can revive himself in combat and regenerate health, and as counterintuitive as this is, you need Guapo to die a lot to get stronger. To level him up, find a good road crossing, cause some chaos, send in Guapo and just sit back and let him die and revive himself and die. A whole bunch. Poor fella needs to learn how to stand on his own 4 feet, so don't get involved. After maybe 10 or 15 minutes, you'll have leveled that first ability and he regenerates health during combat. Now after Guapo, I've tried a few other amigos, but it's hard to beat a murder crocodile.
Nice boy.
So when you get to base building, there's a lot of things you can do at a base, maybe too many. My personal recommendation, focus on building things that increase mobility, because this world is massive and you're going to be doing a lot of running. Many of the sections in Far Cry require huge traversals. Some of them can be tackled with vehicles and horses, but plenty can't. I initially purchased the Hideout Network to open up the wingsuit, which is a must for escaping bad situations and getting to objectives quickly. The wingsuit can operate very close to the ground and let you go far. Then I purchased the Banditos Barrack to open up a shop. That lets you buy things like parkour kicks that increase your movement speed and the parkour strap that significantly increases your run speed with your weapon put away. At higher levels, you can buy shoes that increase your crouch speed. You see where this is going. Other than that, you can engage with or mostly ignore the other things at your base as you like. You might not even notice some of the other things here from other Far Cry games, such as special operations and bandit operations. There's some additional rewards and XP you can get out of these, but they're very optional. Alright, so now let's talk about side missions, because they're more worth it. Far Cry 100% does that Ubisoft thing where you're on your way to a mission and 10 other opportunities pop up to distract you. The difference with Far Cry 6 is that a lot of these missions give you gear with stat bonuses that can truly help your speed, ability to not be on fire, tankiness, and amount of money you can make. Things like that. The gear itself doesn't have levels, but it can open up different playstyles. I'm honestly impressed with the number of creative options gear can give you. And if you want to see what you look like with all this different stuff on, just go to any base to see yourself in third person. I fully credit gear and a good sniper rifle with allowing me to plow through a level 9 zone when I was level 5. For context, on the first island, it was pretty rough trying to tackle a level 5 zone at level 3. So yeah, gear matters. Speaking of leveling, it goes very slow in this game, and you can find yourself gated out of certain areas unless you play it smart with your build. That being said, doing a host of side missions, treasure hunts, clearing checkpoints, taking bases, or hunting animals can really help you level up more quickly. But if you've played Ubisoft games before, you know how this works. Then let's talk about upgrades and resources. There's a lot of systems at play here in Far Cry 6, and a lot of different types of things you need to level your weapons, special abilities, bases, mod slots, resolver weapons, etc. They don't all make conceptual sense. For example, it turned out industrial circuits that I couldn't find for the life of me to level up the pyrotechno came from trading meat. If you get stuck like I did and you can't sort out how to get a resource, head on over to this nifty inventory tab for a full breakdown. Some other little tips you can do are remember to touch vehicles after they blow up for scraps, or even go buy the Scrounger gear from the Banditos Barrack that lets you auto pick up resources while driving by in a car. These tips should help you through a good portion of Far Cry 6. The world is massive and we're still exploring it, so tell us about your builds, Easter eggs you found, or anything else important that we missed. Seriously, there's a lot in this game. Also make sure to head on over to GameSpot's YouTube page for our full review and other guides. Thanks for watching.
Definitely feeling it.
Danny, you hear that?